We all need a place in this world. A place where prejudice, bias, and unthinking words will never separate us. We need a place for grace. We can be a place for grace.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I have bipolar disorder. Everybody's experience is different, and this is my experience. Now, not very too long ago, I would not have been able to tell you that I have bipolar disorder because of the stigma involved, and I really felt ashamed and weak, and like people would judge me or not want to be around me, which, you know, has happened. It was really a secret that only my close friends and family knew about. Something that really bothers me is when people say, not referring to me, but just in general, when they see someone's behavior, they'll say, oh, she's so bipolar, or he's schizo. Because really, you're using a condition that I have as an insult, and you're saying it in an insulting manner. And it makes me ashamed of having bipolar disorder. And because I think, wow, what if they knew that I have it? What would they think? One way to think about this is that you would not say she is diabetes or she is cancer, because that would just be absurd. But yet you would have no problem saying she is bipolar or she is schizophrenic. But when you do that, you're really saying that I embody the mental illness that I have, that it's who I am, not something that I have. So it would be really helpful if you would say she has bipolar disorder. That may not seem like a big difference to you, but it's really a huge difference to me. Now, one thing I just want to tell you about a personal experience that I had, and that is I got so ill one time I had to stay home from work for like 3 months. And when I went back to work, it was really obvious. So I had been off work. It's kind of hard to... Anyway, it was just really obvious. And out of all of the people that I had worked with, and I had worked there, I think about 6 or 7 years, there was only one person who was actually understanding of the fact that I was dealing with an illness and I was trying to overcome it. But pretty much it was very awkward, and people did not want to be around me. They didn't know how to be around me. They didn't want to talk to me. I think what was the most hurtful was that I was not, it was like, even though all those years I had really been a good worker and done a good job, all of a sudden now I was damaged and I was not capable of that anymore. Like I wouldn't get invited to meetings, and I wouldn't be asked to do tasks, and I wasn't included in social events. It was really painful. And the last year or so was just really kind of suffering. It was really suffering through working there. When I left, I did not get a going away luncheon. And that still hurts me today, that is what happened, because people are just so, I don't know what, they just were convinced that I was a different kind of person. That is stigma right there. And spin, and you start to agree with what they say. You start to agree, well, I do deserve to be assaulted. I do deserve to be stigmatized, which makes it even more stressful and more difficult to stay well. I'm sure you're going to run into situations where people are not feeling well, or it's obvious they haven't been feeling well, and they're not going to have the energy or maybe even the nerve to share that with you. But you still can be understanding, and you can be helpful, and you can expect them to be able to cope the way that they used to be able to cope. You can ask them if they're having trouble coping in a very respectful manner, and I would appreciate that. I wouldn't take that as an insult. What bothered me was they just assumed that I wasn't the person I used to be. So, if you're in that situation, it would be really helpful if you could be understanding, and even reach out to the person and let them know that you care, and you're trying to understand, at least trying to understand. Thanks for letting me spend a little time with you. I hope you were comfortable listening to this. It was really sometimes uncomfortable for me to share it with you, but I really would like to have a time where we could actually personally come together and sit around the table, and I can tell you about my experience. You can tell me about your experience, because we all struggle, and I really think that there's common ground there where we can support each other when we understand each other's struggles better.